Guys, how are you?
Good.
Good. All right. So, first of all, I'm going to not speak off cuff because I was told first by my wife that I should never do that. I should always write everything down and then read it and make sure I know it. So, I'm going to read it off here because normally if I go off the cuff, I actually start talking about other things like rugby or stuff like that, which possibly you probably won't even know. So, anyway, here we go. So, good evening, everyone. Before I take you back to 2009, I would like everyone to think of all the mothers and fathers and boobies and zadies that have started off by being a little nervous, very excited, and elated and proud for a full 9 months of preparation. The added excitement of the new addition arriving to the family. I would like you to all remember or relate to the happiness, the joy, and the perfect baby boy or girl being held, cuddled, and celebrated. Feel that moment if you can. Hopefully all of you are smiling to yourselves and nodding with pride and in that acknowledgement. Actually, this reminds me of a story. It was a beautiful Monday afternoon. I had just qualified for my Ontario Soccer Union referee badge and had my first real game to officiate. I decided to stop off and fill up for gas before taking the field as a newly appointed or represented for Soccer Canada. As soon as I got into the car, I saw there was a few missed calls. And before I had a chance to call my wife back, I received a call from 911 dispatch saying that Beth was en route to North York General Hospital. I did not have the exact words to describe my feelings, but I'm sure the few thoughts that were going through my mind was more of helplessness, fear for my wife, and fear for my unborn child. I then assured myself that everything would be okay. The moment that was the last moment of what many would consider to be a normal life. Literally 5 minutes after Beth had arrived in the hospital, Jared Leo Hill was born. A footling breech, 13 weeks early baby, weighing 2 pounds. As a first-time father, I spent hours at the hospital trying to support my wife and trying to gather my thoughts as to how and why this happened. To this day, we as parents do not know why Jared came into this world in this way. At that point in my life, after being married just 1 year, my entire role as a father and husband had changed. All I could think of was to stay positive and things will get better. Stay positive and support my wife. Stay positive and Jared will be okay. He will be able to adapt, overcome, and be like any other normal kid. It was somewhere in between Jared's first code blue at Sick Kids and his liver transplant that I realized that I was on course for a totally different life. I had to be more patient than other fathers. I had to invest myself into areas that most parents would fear for. I had to help my wife overcome trauma in many ways while still keeping myself sane and positive. 11 months went by and Jared was then discharged. He had no real diagnosis and no real prognosis. However, he is Jared Leo Hill, and he is my son. His smile still fills the room wherever I go, wherever he goes, and his eyes twinkle with the most amazing positive energy from morning till night. I know for a fact that Camp AIM is truly the right place for Jared, just because you can hear his laughter on the way out of the house, down the wheelchair lift, and into the bus. Then 7 hours later, that same laughter of annihilation comes through the front door. Jared is sweating from being so happy and frantic. His beautiful cheeks are gleaming and his eyes are filled with joy. Camp AIM is our summer support. It gives Jared a place to belong to. It allows Jared to be happy in a productive, engaging, and safe environment. After all, is this not what all parents want? I know that with all Jared's specific complex needs, he will be looked after from departure to arrival. I know that my wife will have a few hours to herself and to some downtime or fun time with our new baby boy. I know that Jared will make friends and build lasting relationships with tons of amazing people. I know that for 6 hours a day, a little boy that will be confined to a wheelchair for the rest of his life, a little boy that will need to take an immune suppressants to ensure that his liver does not get rejected, a little boy that cannot speak like you and I, is being challenged, invested in, acknowledged, and loved every minute of every day. I know that Camp AIM is making my life more enjoyable, rested, and positive, so I can give back to my family and to my community. In my opinion, there's only one question remaining. What would we do if Camp AIM was not able to support itself, and therefore us, in the future? I know that you are part of the solution. For that, I thank you on behalf of my wife, Beth, my ecstatically happy son, Jared, and his little brother, Brandon.